The Namib Desert is therefore one of the most sparsely populated and remote locations on the planet. But the fascinating thing is that people have been drawn to it for the past century and a half anyway because, as it turned out, it's also one of the most resource-rich areas on the planet as well. It all began back in 1866 when a farmer found a diamond on his farm around here on the banks of the Orange River within present-day South Africa. The same river that eventually flows into the Atlantic and forms the modern-day southern border of Namibia. That discovery eventually led to a frantic diamond rush and the establishment of the Kimberley Diamond Mine, where around 50,000 miners who moved to the area spent decades digging out this hole with nothing but their picks and shovels. The hole is claimed to be the deepest ever dug in the world by hand, and from it, the miners extracted more than 2,700 kilograms worth of diamonds. For nearly a century, the Kimberley mine was considered to be the richest diamond mine ever discovered on the planet. And just a few years later after its initial discovery, the German Empire took over modern-day Namibia as a colony. And despite its seemingly empty appearance on the surface, the Germans were convinced that they could find similarly rich diamond deposits somewhere beneath it. The German colonists spent decades searching for diamonds in Namibia and years massacring much of the area's indigenous tribes for resisting them, like the Nama and Herero. Around 80,000 of them were massacred in a period of only 4 years between 1904 and 1908. Events that the modern German government would eventually formally recognize as a genocide more than a century later in 2021, and for which Germany agreed to pay more than 1 billion euros in reparations. It turned out in 1908, however, that the Germans had been right about their diamond hunch in the territory all along. The Namib Desert was absolutely loaded with diamonds, but not in the way that people thought. They weren't found underground like they were in Kimberley in South Africa, but within the shifting sands of the Namib Desert's dunes and across the beach near the town of Luderitz. As it would later be revealed, while the Skeleton Coast may be an almost completely barren wasteland on the surface, its shoreline is also covered in diamonds. The diamonds likely all originated back in the high plateau of central South Africa, hundreds of kilometers to the east. But over tens of millions of years of geologic time, these diamonds would gradually trickle into the Orange River and flow down into the Atlantic Ocean, where the Benguela Current would take them up and deposit them all along the Namib Desert's coastline, or on the shallow ocean floor directly adjacent to it.
So if you understood the verse in Revelation 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation, but thou art rich.
Kidding with you. We're having a party. I mean, I just came home. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I'm breaking your balls, and you're right away you're getting fucking fresh. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry, too. It's okay. No problem.
Okay, salute. Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Where do you think all this richness is? Where do you think all the resources come from? It come from Africa. Now, a quick little explanation that diamond is mentioned in scripture. The diamond was mentioned in Exodus when they were trying to make, or when they were making Aaron's ephod. Diamond mentioned in Yirmiyahu is just a metaphor, but this verse in Ezekiel talks about the covering or the decoration or ornaments that Satan was wearing where he was where? In the Garden of Eden, which I believe that the Garden of Eden is in the southern tip of South Africa. If you look it up, it's even called the Garden District or the Eden District. And the heathen shall know that the house of Yasharal went into captivity for their iniquity, because they transgressed against me. Therefore I hid my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. And these prophecies in scripture repeat themselves. For those who truly do not understand prophecy or proper locations, this is why it would make sense that the Most High is protecting this sea coast, because he didn't want anybody to be where? In the land of real Jerusalem. That's why he says it's desolate. That's why it was burnt hotly, that it looked like it was scorched with fire. That's why it looks like a desolate wilderness, because everything below the Orange River is inhabitable. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot more diamond mines, gold, sapphire, emeralds, that's all underneath the land of Africa that we haven't even scratched the surface. Only the Most High would know where all that is. And that's why it's amazing, because the prophecy is happening right before your eyes. While you're looking at the fake land, the real prophecy is seeing how long that this coast will be foggy until that fog will be lifted and we come back to our proper land. When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and am sanctified them in sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am Yahuwah Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. This is why the remnant of Yasharel is participating in the Pesach and the set-apart days in its proper calendar, because we are going to experience our second Exodus and our second Passover.